Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. In today's video, I'm at my mom's house. I'm going to be cleaning up a bunch of garden beds that are in the front yard. I may get to cutting them because we're going to make some of them a little bit wider. I think they've been a little bit too narrow the last couple of years. So we're going to widen them out and mulch them. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in this video or just kind of show you grouped together with other beds that we're going to be making this year. But at the very least today, I just want to cut stuff back so that way it's ready to grow for the season. And also, I'm going to be moving a hydrangea. Let me show you that first. So as a nice gift from one of our family members for moving into this house, they gave us, I think this is an endless summer hydrangea. It has like a nice pink flower, and I originally stuck it here, but this bed is a little bit more shady than this hydrangea likes. You can also see that it started to kind of encroach on this euonymus shrub, and I have pruned back this euonymus every year, so I think it just needs to go in a different home, so I think I have a spot for this. But as a whole, we're just going to be cleaning up this bed. You can see there's a lot of leaves that accumulated behind these boxwoods from this Japanese maple. Looking at this Japanese maple over here, we made this bed last year, or actually I think 2 years ago at this point, where there's some creeping phlox here, and this actually is all budded up and this will start blooming soon. But I just want to cut back any dead parts that are on there, clean up all of this brush here, clean up this. This is an oh so easy pink double, I think is what this is called. It's a type of carpet rose. This bed over here needs to be cleaned up a little bit. You can see there's some heuchera that I planted, and there's just a lot of like spent leaves from last year that need to be cleaned up. There is Hakanakaloa here that I planted in the fall, and I'm not too worried about this root ball showing here because we're going to be mulching this up nice and thick around it. So if anything, it's good that it's a little bit high up, but these we can cut back. The Lakothui, I think that's how you pronounce this, that one actually is fine. I don't think I need to do anything to that. And then this bed over here in the front, we actually got a new garden flag, so you can take a look at this. Here, I'll give you a little close-up on that. I think it's cute. I have a couple hellebores. They're starting to show some blooms coming up, so I'm going to clean up all this dead. This hellebore has not done very well, but I am seeing some signs of some new leaves coming up. So hopefully, as long as this one makes it, I'll be happy. But I'll clean up all this dead. There is some echinacea that I planted last year. I'll cut back all that dead. This lavender, I'm gonna cut back so that way it's nice and short and it'll grow back nice and thick and bushy. We already took care of the hydrangea in the fall. A bunch of other leaves to clean up. This lamb's ear is pretty good that I planted in the fall, but again, a couple dead leaves. I don't know if this Gara made it. I think this Gara said it was hardy to his own 7. And we ended up having one night where it got down to -10 this winter, which actually was pretty uncommon. We've actually barely seen negative temperatures in the last maybe 5 years or so. So for it to get down to -10 was actually really cold for us. So I don't think that necessarily made it, but I think I'll just cut it back to the ground, see if it grows, and if not, it'll just decompose there. I already took care of these roses here, so those are ready for the season. And I think everything else here is good, but this we're also going to be increasing in size, especially because these grasses were like way over the side last year. So I just want to bring it out like at least a couple of feet or so, and that'll give these room to grow. Plus I am going to stake these up this year. So I'm just going to focus on the front yard for today. We've got a lot of other fun stuff happening in the backyard as well as on the other side of this yard, but I kind of want to keep it a secret until we're done with it so I can show you guys all at the end. But you will get a sneak peek for where this hydrangea is going to be going. So I will show you that at the end of this video, but besides that, let's get started. Okay, so I took care of everything for tonight. I didn't end up edging the beds or anything like that. I also didn't fertilize anything tonight except for the hydrangea that I transplanted, and I just used biotone starter fertilizer just because of the root system. I want to make sure that it can get a good ample root system for the season. But everything else I will fertilize. I just don't have fertilizer on hand, so I'm going to pick up a bag of rose tone and then a bag of plant tone, so that way I can fertilize that stuff. But let me just show you what everything looks like. So this is in the backyard. I don't exactly want to tell you where, because this is a big project that I've been working on the last couple of weeks, but you can see this hydrangea right here. I put in some compost and then biotone starter fertilizer in the hole, and this is basically a full sun location, so I think this hydrangea is going to do much better there. If you happen to live in a warmer climate, it's better to give them a little bit of afternoon shade, but if you do live in a cooler climate, I'm in a zone 6, these actually can tolerate pretty much full sun. I mean, I'll see how it does this year, but I think that's going to help with it blooming more from the past. I didn't prune it or anything in the past, but I think it'll definitely help with having it be a little bit more prolific with blooming. All right, and then from beginning to end, what I ended up doing here was just cleaning out kind of around the edges. There wasn't too much that I was going to cut back with these phlox because some of them just don't look all that great in general, but once they start growing for the season, they'll look better. I pruned back this. I just ended up pruning like the tips back. You can see kind of all the buds growing on here, so that will be growing soon. And then just took care of a couple of weeds there. In this bed over here, I didn't edge it or anything yet. I probably will end up re-edging this nicer, but with like the heuchera, I just cut everything back so that way it was all fresh new growth here. The Hakanakloa, I cut back just to like a couple of inches. This will start to grow back soon. In fact, there's actually little nubs coming up too. The Leucothui, I think that's how you pronounce that. This, I actually had a couple of branches that were growing kind of weird, so I just wanted to shape it so that way it grows better, like a nicer full shape that's a little bit more round instead of kind of that odd shape that it had. I did find that I had some Japanese painted ferns down in here, so here's one of them that I noticed. I didn't do anything with them, but I just hope they end up growing this year. Another Hakanakloa, and then same thing with the other heucheras. Now over here, I just wanted to replace this pot because it still had winter stuff in it, and I wanted to put a larger pot here because I'm going to probably get one type of annual to put in this pot for the summer. It'll fill out this space and end up covering that, but I just think something a little bit larger would work. Plus I had a houseplant in that pot that is now in a bigger pot, so it's nice to have something a little bit larger, and I think it matches pretty well with those. I mean, they're all shades of gray, so I think that works. Moving over this way, it's still a little bit of a mess, but we're going to mulch over all of this anyways. I just wanted to get like the majority of the leaves out from back there. This Gara, I did notice a little bit of green. There's like right there. See, there's a tiny bit of green. So I'm hoping that grows back. I got to catch my breath a little bit. There's the hellebores that are right here. So this one I think is doing pretty well. I just hope that this actually sends out the blooms. It kind of just did this last year and stayed like this, and then it grew out new leaves. So we'll see. This definitely still has life in it. I can see new leaves coming up, but I just got rid of all the dead leaves here. And then lavender, I cut back. Same thing like I did at my dad's house. This may be phenomenal lavender, but I'm not entirely sure if that's exactly what this variety is. So I just cut this back to a few inches tall. You can kind of see like that. And then this will bush out a lot better this year. Behind this hydrangea tree were the rudbeckias, or echinacea, I should say. So there's a little bit of new growth here, and I think I saw a tiny bit of green, like a little bit right here. So we'll see how these grow back this year. One discussion that we had at the garden center last year was that the echinacea said it was hardy to a zone 5, but it also said that it reseeds itself. So we weren't sure that if in the colder zones it wouldn't come back necessarily, but it was just like the fact that it reseeded. But it seems like the main plant itself is coming back. So I think that this is considered like a real perennial. But it was kind of an experiment. I may not even keep it here, but I just planted it here in the fall just to see. So we'll see what happens this year. And then I really haven't done anything here, but these were some of those other $6 Aldi kits that I got, like the bulb kits, and I actually see a little tulip bloom inside of there, which is exciting. Alliums, I think, got eaten up, so I don't know exactly if the alliums are going to come up or not, but the daffodils, you can see there's definitely some blooms right here. So probably in the next maybe like week or two, those will start to come up, maybe like 2 weeks. And that's just about it. So that's what I wanted to work on for today. We're going to keep working on those beds. I'm going to end up reshaping some of them as well, but just in case you guys are curious about what's been going on here, there's a lot of bags back here, like probably like 50 yard bags, and we just don't have a space in our yard to make like a good compost pile, and I don't know enough about it to really want to get into composting yet. So for right now, we're just putting stuff in yard bags, but stay tuned for a video of some stuff really transforming in this backyard. I'm very excited about what's going to happen this year. But yeah, so besides that, hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you have any questions on any plants that I cut back, or if any other plans that I have going on in the front over there. But besides that, I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you in the next one.